2016 version of John Ross is a wideout with more weapons, not just a vertical route runner or a screen guy like in the past. Now he's adding a slant, the dig route, and improved his overall play.
I think they do well on the defensive line. They're not great pass rushers, and so that transition to convert is something they struggle with.
Play action from Browning, and they get the ball to John Ross, and quickly Rutgers gets to him.
This is what we're used to John Ross doing. Little tunnel screen, getting a block from Darrell Daniels, coming underneath.
A bunch to the right for Browning. Chico McClatcher goes in motion. Browning takes a deep shot for McClatcher. Touchdown, Washington.
An additional level of emphasis they're going to put on the sliding player giving themselves up this season.
Miles Gaskin breaks a tackle. Gaskin ends up being a 2-yard pickup for Gaskin. Gaskin into the line. And Rutgers having trouble bringing him down.
Like this call from this field position.
Jamon Dotson checks in at running back. Jake Browning, good protection. Right near the marker, should have it.
Not tracing yet.
Now Levon Coleman at running back for the Huskies. Play action, Browning for the end zone, broken up. Jake Browning will line up in shotgun. Browning takes another deep shot for John Ross. And it's too far out in front,
as they try and deal with this Washington offense.
As the Rutgers fans know, defense was a big problem for them last year. On second down, Browning flushed out. On the move, Jake Browning. Coming back, inbounds, it's a catch. 18 yards for the sophomore. John Ross. Ross! Touchdown! 38 yards. Welcome back, John Ross.
It was just a moment ago that we saw Jake Browning overthrow John Ross on a 9 route. It's a simple go route, fading with the outside release. Stutter move right there. Browning puts a little more air under the ball, allowing John Ross to time it up. And when you can put the ball on the spot as Jake Browning does, John Ross can run into that football as well as anyone in the entire country.
How about Colorado and their performance, blowing out Colorado State in Denver?
44-7. Impressive.
From midfield, Browning a play action. Another deep ball. Again for John Ross. Touchdown! Just looking for the reset button.
The season high for Browning last season, 405 yards, a freshman record. He may eclipse that in the first quarter, Roxy, because John Ross has announced his presence with authority. He's got what medical professionals refer to as 6 speed. Jake Browning putting the ball out in front of the fastest man in the Pac-12. 4.25, even faster than John Ross prior to the knee injury.
Jackson, it was before camp, and Jackson was teaching him how to use his speed. You mentioned that 4.25 speed. You know, Jackson's right there as well. He said, look, the defensive guy crossing you does not run that fast, so you don't have to blast off the line of scrimmage. Just threaten him, scare him, and then when you get to the top of the route, that's when you explode with the speed. And of course, we saw that in the last 2 touchdowns, that bye-bye speed, as I like to call it, with that touchdown. As for the...
Jamon Dotson in at running back as Darrell Daniels in motion for the Dogs. Play action from Browning. Wide open is Daniels. First down and more. Daniels chopped down.
I'm muttering to myself, so I'm sure he is.
On second down, Browning swings it out to John Ross. And Ross pushed out at the
point of attack, forcing him that way.
Loss of 3. Browning to John Ross, trying to cut back against the grain. There's nothing, Rick.
Well, there was sort of a bunched stack look with Darrell Daniels and John Ross to the field side. When the defense sees that, they know there's a good chance of range, though.
Bonagura to kick off. Or rather, not Bonagura. It's Jared Smolar with the kickoff. And here comes John Ross. Ross to the outside. Ross. 40. 30. 20. Ross. Touchdown. return for a touchdown. John Ross, his third scored today. With 2:22 to go in the first half.
This is fun, Roxy. College football is back on the Pac-12 network. John Ross III with speed to burn, returning to the lineup. This first half feels like 3 different games because we've been waiting to see the tri-nitro toluene, the TNT that is John Ross, back in the lineup. I don't know why he threw the stutter step in there. It really wasn't necessary.
He just wanted to mess with Jared Smolar.
Just wanted to make it look a little tricky, a little cool. Nice little dive roll. Just think of the position you're in here. Picture, if you will, one-on-one in wide open space against the demolition derby that is the human joystick of John Ross.
Kicker versus John Ross.